Water. Did you know that the world is made up of 71% of water? That makes it kind of hard to believe that an issue such as water conservation could be such a big deal. But it really is, as 97% of that is in saltwater form and 2% is in glacier form. That leaves only 1% of water for human consumption, and water truly is an essential element of life. Our bodies are made up of two-thirds of water, and this includes 90% of our brains, 82% of our blood, and even 90% of our lungs are made up of water. When we don't get enough water, we suffer from symptoms of dehydration, and it doesn't take much. A simple 2% drop in our water intake can result in physical symptoms such as difficulty remembering, completing simplistic math problems, and reading smaller print. Even daily fatigue is an expression of dehydration. This is important to understand, as nearly 1 in 10 people in the world do not have access to safe water. This leads to 500,000 children who lose their lives every year due to diarrhea from unsanitary water consumption. Luckily, within the United States, access to water is really relatively easy, as all we have to do is turn the tap and we have clean, drinkable water. Unfortunately, this accessibility has led to taking this precious resource for granted. The United States alone uses 450 billions of gallons of water every single day. 450 billions of gallons? Well, only 6% of that is used by the public, but that still averages with every individual using 185 gallons of water every single day. We definitely don't drink that much, so where does it all go? A lot of it, unfortunately, is wasted. But the good news is this is an area that we can help increase our water conservation, and we have control and can make a difference. We can help protect this precious resource by focusing on two areas that use the highest amounts of water, the landscape and the bathroom. Let's start with the landscape. And the thing to remember the most with the landscape is to watch those sprinklers. 50% of each household's water use is outside. So a lot of everyday watering happens a lot with the sprinklers. One thing to remember that is really important is don't water the sidewalk or the street. If you see water on the street or the sidewalk, make sure that the sprinkler heads are pointed in the right direction. This may also be due to runoff, and this can be especially dangerous or a problem if you have a sloped yard. So instead of watering for long amounts of time, increase the frequency, but cut back on how much time you use with each sprinkler setting, and that will help eliminate the runoff. Also, you can water between 4 and 6 in the morning, as this results in less evaporation and water loss. It's also important to water according to the weather. If it's sunny outside, go ahead and bump up the water a little bit, especially if it's intensely hot, as this will help prevent overcompensation in the future. However, if it's rainy or if it's cool outside, you can go ahead and cut the water back a little bit. Speaking of weather, when the weather warms up enough for the water to be turned on in your neighborhood, that doesn't mean it's time to start watering your lawn. If you hold off a week or two, depending on how cool the spring is, you can really help that grass initiate that root growth so that it'll become more established as your lawn and will be more drought tolerant in the future. Now moving on to the bathroom. Let's first focus on the showers. Now, realistically, showers don't just provide a way to become clean, but they also are a way to find comfort or just to enjoy the end of the day. If I were to ask everybody in the audience to cut back their showers to 3 minutes a day, that would be a drastic change in lifestyle, and there wouldn't be very many people who would be willing to make that dedication. However, what I can ask is that everybody in the audience cut back their everyday showers to 5 or 6 minutes every day, and then understanding that it is okay to splurge every now and again with a longer, relaxing shower, or even bath. Another thing you can do within the bathroom to help save water is pay attention to the toilet. Did you know that if everyone in the United States flushed the toilet one less time, we would save a lake that was a mile long by a mile wide and 4 feet deep every single day, an entire lake, and that's just by flushing less. It's also important to check for secret leaks within your toilet, as this can also be a way that water is wasted. All you have to do is take a couple drops of food coloring and drop those into the tank of the toilet. Go back after an hour or so and check to see if any of that food coloring has entered into the bowl. If the food coloring has moved from the tank to the bowl, then you know that you have a secret leak. By fixing that leak, then you will be able to not only help save water, but it'll also help save on your water bill. Another thing you can do is make sure that you shave with a plugged sink instead of with running water. As you do so, you save a lot of water, as a plugged sink uses about half a gallon, but when you have running water, it uses about a gallon per minute. So even if you only shaved for, say, 5 minutes, you used about 10 times as much water just in that time. This also goes for if you're washing your face or if you are brushing your teeth. Just make sure to shut off that water tap and use a sinkful for rinsing instead. So overall, by simple means such as being savvy when it comes to watering the lawn, and by making sure that you aren't watering the street or the sidewalk, by decreasing the amounts of water used within the restroom by taking shorter showers, flushing less, and checking for secret leaks, each of us can truly make a difference within this world as we work to save this essential element of life. Thank you.